Welcome back to Tank Time, where I teach you how to lower your score without having to work on your golf swing. On today's agenda, we're going to be talking a little bit about the mental game. When you have a very tight shot where there's a lot of trouble, a lot of the times you focus so much on the trouble that your ball just naturally goes into the trouble. Have you ever had a hole where there's OB on one side and you're thinking, don't hit it to the right, don't hit it to the right, and your ball goes OB? Or maybe there's water on the left and you're thinking, oh man, don't hit it in the water. You were in the water last time, don't hit it in the water, and your ball goes straight into the water. Well, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks today to avoid that and build your mental fortitude so that you don't hit it into the hazard or out of bounds. The trick to when it comes to these kind of difficult shots is lying to yourself. As a golfer, you have to be a little delusional. You have to have a lot of confidence in yourself. Even if you're doing the wrong thing, you still have to believe in it. You have to believe in it so much that your thoughts become reality. The power of the mind is a super strong thing, and it can be done. If you're hitting to an island green and there's water everywhere, you have to convince yourself that there's no water, because you can hit a straight 150-yard shot when you're in the middle of the fairway. There's no reason why you can't hit the same shot when there's water. When you overthink things, you get nervous. Your heart rate increases, you get stressed, your hands tighten, and your rhythm changes. And all of these things will cause you to hit a bad shot when the pressure is on. If you're on an island green, you have to mentally imagine the water being grass. You have to believe in it so much that the stress and anxiety of hitting a ball into the water goes away. This is not easy to do, and that's why pros still chunk it into the water at 100 yards. Sometimes there's so much internal turmoil that you just can't settle yourself and hit that shot that you've hit 10,000 times. Golf is a mental game. So let's get you good at golf. When you're at a hole like this, you need to determine which trouble is more trouble. Here, it's going to be the water on the left-hand side, because if you hit in the water, you're going to have to take a drop. You might have to drop it further back than you'd like to be. If you miss it to the right, you're going to end up in some bunkers, which is going to force you to lay up, but it's not going to hurt you that much. You probably won't have to take a penalty stroke. Here is where you fake it till you make it. You have to convince yourself not to think about the water. If you think about the water and that there's water on the left and that you don't want to hit it to the left, all you're thinking about is don't hit it left. Your brain cannot differentiate the don't and the left. All it's thinking about is left. You're probably going to hit it left into the water. For me, I'm really good at compartmentalizing, and I'm going to tell myself there's nothing on the left there at all. I'm going to have a really good practice swing, and if you haven't seen my video on why practice swings are so important, go check it out. On my practice swing, I'm going to make sure I feel like I'm playing a straight to fade. As in, I want to make sure the heel of the club beats the toe of the club through impact. That's going to allow the club face to just hold itself off a little bit and not allow a draw. And that's going to make my ball go straight down the middle on this tight, difficult driver. All right, so I pick a good line. I'm going to hug the left side because I can reach the right bunkers. This is a tight driving hole. Definitely pays off because you can go for it in two. So I'm going to pick a good line. And if you haven't seen my video on alignment, go check it out. And I'm going to just blank my mind on the left part of this hole. There is nothing over there. Nothing exists except for this straight line that I'm drawing in my mind's eye. In my practice swing, I've done the routine to feel that straight to fade. And now all that's left is to repeat the swing. And there's nothing to it. You just fake it till you make it. Like this video if sometimes your ball is like a magnet towards the hazards and OB. So I've got 120 yards here. This is a green that's very sideways and skinny, but I know the pin's in the back. I have 120 yards to the pin and 110 yards to the front of the green. There's all this junk between my ball and the green, and my playing partner just said, don't leave it short. So what should I be thinking about? You want to focus on not chunking it. Wrong! We don't want to focus on not leaving it short. Ignore your playing partner because they're trying to play mental games with you and get into your brain. But we are not going to be weak. We're not going to be taken advantage of. We are going to be mentally stronger than that. So, what I want you to focus on is the process. Can you hit a 120-yard shot? Yes. Can you hit a 120-yard shot when it's over junk? Yes. There is nothing different between this shot and the one on the driving range, except for your mind and your thoughts. When you have a shot that makes you feel a little bit uneasy, we need to go through the process and focus on the things that we can. 120 yards and 110 to the green. If I hit it 110 yards, that means I carried all of the trouble and I will be putting. I have a pitching wedge in my hand and it goes 125 yards, which means I can choke down just a smidge and hit a full swing. I'm gonna go through my practice swing. And when I step back to pick the line and visualize my shot, I am not looking at the junk. In my mind's eye, this is all fairway. And I'm gonna convince myself of that by just looking at the pin and focusing on the number. We wanna hit a 120-yard shot. That is what we're gonna focus on. We're not gonna think about, don't chunk it, don't hit it fat. No, none of that. We're thinking about 120 yards. Just repeat that number in your mind. That's all you need to think about. Having a loud, positive thought is going to push away the negativity and the nerves and the anxiety. We want to have great tempo. And if you haven't seen my video on tempo, go check it out. So I've got my line. And as I'm walking into it, I'm just focusing on the fact that it's 120 yards, 120. Just have to hit it 120. And I go through my tempo mantra, you are amazing. And then I match my tempo to that practice swing and the 120-yard shot. And you can't go wrong. We cannot let our insecurities and our fears guide our game. We have to have strong mental thoughts to guide our feelings and our emotions. You need to have a strong mental game to be a scratch or better golfer. So just fake it till you make it. So please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for my next episode.